Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm T with Teresa H Creates, and I wanted to share some things that I've been working on in my studio recently. I'm still gearing up and preparing for a vendor fair coming up. It may end up being the only one that I do. I may do a few more, but it is the first one that I'm doing it's in 6 years, plus or minus a year or so. But it's been a while, and I'm doing things different than I did last time I did a vendor fair. I did a lot of mixed media and assemblage type stuff, and handmade cards. And so while I'll still have handmade cards, this junk journals and altered books are different. They're something that I've been doing in the past 6 years, and post craft fairs. So I just kind of wanted to see how these were going to be received. Not looking on necessarily making lots of sales, but just seeing how these items are received in the vendor fair space. So anyhow, I will have lots of cards. I will have some other little goodies, but I have been working on a lot of these altered little golden books. These are not done. They probably will not be done by the vendor fair, but I kind of wanted to show you the work in progress. So this is Santa's Toy Shop. And it's two signatures. It is, the spine is 1.5 inches, and I do like to keep the foil on the books themselves, because if it doesn't have the foil, is it really a little golden book? That's just kind of my preference. I do have a tutorial in some earlier videos where I showed how I do this, alter these and keep the foils on them. The Pokey Little Puppies First Christmas, so cute. All of these are 1.5 inches spine, two signatures. I think there's anywhere from 9 to 12 pages in each signature. It just depends. This one actually has fabric on it, on the inside instead of paper. I think it might be the only one that has fabric though. And that one was The Night Before Christmas. And then this one is 12 Days of Christmas. And I'll continue working through these. This is another crafter's companion paper, this 12 Days of Christmas paper, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Oh, and this one was difficult. This might be the most difficult one that I have ever done, because I keep the story intact, and the way I had to assemble it, I wanted to also keep the pages intact as far as like the gifts on the 12 days. So I wanted to keep them intact, and it was a lot of shuffling, but I think in the end I managed to do it. So I've got the partridge in a pear tree, 2 turtle doves, 3 French hens. Let me see. 4 calling birds, 5 golden rings. Let me see. Some of these don't have things on them. 6 geese a laying. Okay, and that was the end. And then 7 swans a swimming. 8 maids a making. 8 maids a milking. Got a little tongue-tied. 9 ladies dancing, 10 lords a leaping, and I ended up getting those right as they were like butted up on the same page across from each other, so that was kind of funny. And then or it was 8 lords a leaping. I think I got off. No, yeah, it was 10 lords a leaping. Okay, 11 pipers piping, and then finally, okay, that one was just plain 10 drummers drumming. 12 drummers drumming. So that was probably the most difficult, just trying to keep all of those in order. And I don't know why that was really important to me, but it was. So when I do these, when I alter these books, I really do try to find papers that will coordinate with the stories and lend to the stories. So this one is the Nutcracker, and it does have pages from a collection, a paper collection that does have the Nutcracker. So, yeah. It's important to me to have things that kind of coordinate. And then this one is Jingle Bells. I'm not doing complete flip throughs, just kind of wanted to show you a little bit of what I've got in here. And then I already showed you the Santa's Toy Shop, and then the Pokey Little Puppy. And let me put these aside. And I'll show you the ones that I have completed. I'm not going to do a complete flip through, but I did want to do a slight flip through. But like I said, I did have a tutorial on how I alter these books and keep that spine. And I will put that in the description box so that you can reference that if you're interested in seeing how it is that I do that. And I was working on, when I did that, I believe it was Alice in Wonderland, little golden books I was doing, and I had 4 or 5 of them in progress. And then I stopped and did not finish that series because my daughter was graduating from high school and it just got crazy and I need to go back. So maybe in January, I'll go back and finish those up. Anyhow, so here's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. The end product will have book corners on all 4 sides. I did put the little eyelets in here so that for closures. This one and this Frosty the Snowman, both of them have, oh, I lost it. I didn't have it closed. Both of them will have these little brads in there so that you can hang tassels. The others I did not. So these were the first 2 I did in the collection, and I knew I was going to only do 2 signatures. And so I was only doing an inch spine on these. So these 2 have an inch spine, and then I realized very quickly that I actually needed it a little bit bigger, and that's when I moved to an 1.5 inches. So let me open this up. All of the closures are tie closures. I've added some kind of embellishment along the insides here, so it's not just a straight edge. And then some of them are a little bit different later. I'll show you those as well. I went in and just added some of the little pom-poms because it's Rudolph. And so that says Rudolph's nose, right? And so just lots of tags and things in here. Some stamp tags, handmade tags. A lot of ephemera that goes with the collection that I used for Rudolph. And I think this collection is mostly Echo Park that I used here. And I ended up using a lot of the stickers in this one because it just had kind of a cartoony vibe to it. I ended up stamping on some collage paper and made tags. Okay, and so then for the centers here where I tied these off, each one of these I put something that kind of coordinated with the story. And for Rudolph, I thought, oh, it'll be cute. I'll do his little red nose. But then I had these brown binding cords, and now that it's done, it just looks like a set of cherries instead of Rudolph noses. Maybe if the cord had been black, it might look a little bit more like Rudolph's nose, but oh well. Some more cards in a tuck spot. I guess it'll just be cherries for now. It's still cute, I think. So stories intact, lots and lots of journaling space, lots of ephemera and journaling cards. I do a lot of journaling cards and hidden spots. And then the second one, I also put some pom-pom on there. Lots of tags and things. I think that this is Miss Kate's Cuttables. So it's Echo Park and Miss Kate's Cuttables collection. I kind of went through several collections and pulled out items that just had Rudolph specifically on them instead of using a complete collection. And then I have this snowflake paper clip here that's holding that little card in place, that journaling card. Lots of just little tucks. And then here again, my cherries. They're Rudolph noses. Little tuck spot, or I'm sorry, belly band. So I just like it. I thought it turned out pretty cute. And so I said I wasn't going to do a complete flip through, and then I ended up doing a complete flip through. But that was that, and I'll tie that up later. And then I did make, like I said, I did make a tassel. This is just on a bulb pen, so it can come off very easily. I've got a little Rudolph dangle there, and then the actual tassel itself has bells and like little charms and beads and bells. There's some beads, there's some beads, there's some bells. So just lots of goodies in there. And then for Frosty the Snowman, his little tassel's a little bit lighter, but also with the with all the little beads and things in there and the bells. And then the snowman charm. And this is the cover on that. And then the ribbon I did for this one was silver. So it also has the book corners and the eyelet, and all of them are attached like this with ribbon to tie them as far as the closures go. And that's just how I did it. So I'm not very creative. I realized in this process, I'm not very creative with the closures. I think I'm pretty good with the execution of the actual book itself, the cover, and then the signatures, and even the decorating. I load them full of ephemera. But when it comes to like the little details, I don't know. I feel like I have a lot of stuff, but maybe it's not the right stuff because I feel like I'm missing the mark a little bit. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know. You tell me. But I have the ribbon here. And then I have, like I said, the tassels. So the tassels for me are cute, but they're not great. And so I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, I put some trim here. And then we did pom-poms. But I did the nice white ones for Frosty. I just like the little golden books with pom-poms. I think that it should all have pom-pom trim in them. Okay, and then these have the little gold stars. That was the center of that. And again, with the snowflake paper clip because it is Frosty. And then these, I layered up a lot of tags in this one because I had a lot small tags. And this one is, I want to say Echo Park. It might be an Echo Park and a Recollections, a Michael's Recollections kit that I did this one. And this is a flip up. Lots and lots of journaling space in these. But I think that's what the collection is I used in this one. A combination of that, Recollections and Echo Park. And two little slide in and out, both of those. And again with the flip outs. And then there you go. And so that one is Frosty the Snowman. Okay, so after those two where I was doing the 1.5 inch, I did go up to, I'm sorry, the inch spine. I went up to the 1.5 inch and I didn't add a tassel here. I did add a charm here to dangle on this, but this went up 1.5 inches and I really loaded it with a lot. So this one has the gold ties on it and I put the gold trim here. And then this one in particular, which one is this? The Christmas Story. This one is Echo Park, First Noel, and a kit that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I can't remember. It was last year's paper, though. It wasn't this year's paper. It was last year's paper, so that's what I used for that. And then again with the pom-pom. And I didn't have the First Noel and that paper were the only things I had that were kind of nativity related, but I did get Look Away in a Manger. Isn't that cool? So I try to get things, like I said, that kind of coordinate with it. So it's not just a lot of random stuff that I put in there. But anyway, lots of gold, glory to the newborn king. So I did try to find things that kind of coordinated. And this is an actual Christmas traditions book, and it's got some nice aging to it. And I did gold stars on this one. And I had some cards, some Christmas cards that had angels on them that I incorporated into this. It's a tag. It says Rejoice underneath. Just lots and lots. I don't know if you can see them as you're going through here, but I've got lots of like tuck spots and stuff in here. Lots of them. And it's the rest of that manger. Anyhow, I thought it turned out really pretty. I thought it was nice. And that was, like I said, Echo Park. And I did pull out some of my stamps. I do have 2 stamp sets that are kind of a little bit more religious in nature, and so I did pull those out and use them on this one, and I thought it turned out really pretty. Lots of golds. There's the stars again. Try to flip through here. I don't think there was anything like super crazy. Come all ye faithful, little town of Bethlehem, and I did do some that paper from Hobby Lobby is not double-sided, it's single-sided, so I did do some star stenciling in the backgrounds to cover some of that white space, but it can still be written over. So that was it. That was the Christmas Story. And then the other one I did was the Animals Christmas Eve, and I used more of that Hobby Lobby paper in this one. And I had a hard time finding things that were barnyard animal specific because, like I said, I got to be matchy-matchy with everything. And this is the spine on that one. It is also 1.5 inches with the gold ribbon. This is the trim on it, and it's got the angels. Here's the stars. So this was a mixture, again, of Echo Park and the Hobby Lobby stuff. But I had a hard time finding actual like manger animals, but I had that stamp set. So I ended up making some stuff using the stamp set that was more specific, specifically religious, and did have like a manger scene in it. So you'll see some of that in here. I thought that turned out well. I added a lot of that. And here's a tuck spot. A wise men seek him. I kept it really, really basic. Peace on earth. I thought those looked nice. And there's even tuck up there. Little manger scenes. More of that paper from that Christmas book. And I did stars in this one as well. And I do have some random papers that don't always just coordinate, coffee dyed papers. And this is a flip up, some journaling spots. And this is got the tiny attacher paper clip there. So, yeah. Again, with the religious cards that I had, those cards set aside. And then I did some circle journal cards. Then this one is a tip out. See, I just thought those were pretty and really added something to it. And there's the stars again. In the center, that second. And I got Away in a Manger again. This is from an old music book. There's more of those stars. So a lot of work. I put a lot of work into these. And this is just an envelope that I had. It had a decorative center and it was gold. So I used it to go ahead, and it's glued down solid on here. But I wanted to use just the open pocket because I wanted this inside to show. That was really pretty. So I wanted the inside of that to show. And then that's that. Love the way that turned out. So I have two religious, two kind of fun. And then I did this only because it was my smallest book. This is the only tiny book that I have in the Little Golden Book. And this is the first Little Golden Book series. I love Richard Scarry. I grew up on Richard Scarry books. I had no idea that there was a Christmas Mice book. And when I saw this, I had to have it. And so it was one that I did alter fairly quickly. Because this is much smaller than the others. Let me pull one out for comparison here. Since it is much smaller, I wanted to do a wider spine on it, and I included 3 signatures on this one. And I want to say, let me pull up my ruler because I want to say that this was 2.5 inches, but it might not be. Yeah, it was 2.5 inches. So that's the thing. You do this at whatever inch you have, and then you're going to, once the finished product is done, you're going to want to add probably about a quarter inch to 1/2 inch to it, just because of the way all the papers bulk up the sides of that chipboard piece in the middle. So anyway, it always looks much bigger. So it's a 2.5 inch spine. And then I did the little Santa Claus dangle, and it has the book corners. And then the tie closure, just like all the others, I kept that the same. And then this one, instead of putting any fabric on the insides, I just, I did a decorative border punch on that one. And a few of them have that. And this one was so cutesy that I ended up using, was this Recollections, I believe this was one of the Recollections kits from last year, one of the paper pads from last year or the year before. And so I kept it in these little reds and candies and just kind of a fun, festive vibe, and used the pink and the snuff, and look at that Winter Wonderland, and then this little paper clip, and I just filled it full of little tags and put little borders, little fringe on a lot of them. And I did music sheet stars on these in the centers. So I wanted to just kind of keep it light and fun. I did some stamping because the story's just kind of fun. It's just a light one. And then there was lots of candy in it. So I just did, like I said, lots of stamping and lots of stuff. And I didn't do the tassel on this one because it's so short. And that's why I added all the little fringe to some of the tags, so it would poke out of the top of it. But all the little pockets and things and the little tabs. And I thought it just Turned out really cute, and I did the little decorative edge on that. And then I used this doily. I put the doily in here and then used it as a tuck spot. So just a lot of fun. And it's a cute little story. And the Richard Scarry theme. So these have been a lot of fun to do. So the 5 here that I'm showing you will definitely be, you know, at the craft fair. We'll see how they do. Again, I have a hard time parting with anything that I make, so it doesn't bother me that it sits on the shelf, but because I don't sell anywhere. But I am doing the craft fair, like I said, just to kind of gauge what people are interested in. A lot of my stuff ends up being given away as gifts to friends and family. Or I have friends and family who come in and just want stuff and take it, which I'm totally fine with. Because like I said, my incentive isn't money or to sell. It's just to make. I like to make. So I'm sure you guys can relate, right? I just want to make stuff. So anyhow, I'm looking forward to the vendor fair and just seeing how they're received, since I haven't done this type of thing, the journals and stuff. And then I've got a lot of other stuff I'm taking. But of the little golden books, these are the ones that will be at the fair, and we'll see how they go. I'm probably going to price them pretty low. It's just it's at a local church. It's a ladies brunch. So I think there'll only be like 200 ladies. And so I'll price them pretty low. The lowest that I'm willing to go, I think, on these, just because they are a lot of work. I don't want to diminish the amount of time that I do put into them, but I also have to consider, you know, the venue and the number of people, the kind of traffic it's going to have. And then also the fact that I've just been out of the loop for so long. So I will plan on at least posting some pictures of my table once I get it set up and everything, so I can show you what that looks like. And then you'll be able to see all the things that I have laid out. But anyhow, if you have any questions about anything that I did, or you have any suggestions or recommendations on ribbons or things, like I said, it's these little details, which I think is kind of odd, since I do have a mixed media and even an assemblage and even at one time a jewelry making, you know, background. And so and then I struggle I struggle with these things, with the fibers and stuff like that. So anyhow, if you have any questions, put it down in the comments. I'll respond to everything. I hope you enjoyed the little flip through and seeing these little books being saved. And until next time, bye.